I rise sadly because I really love agriculture, and this is not a bill that moves our country forward. I'm blessed to represent a region that can feed itself. The soils are magnificent, and we have the bounty of fresh water. And we could easily feed ourselves if the system worked to that end. But the current system of agriculture does not produce that end. The purpose of a federal agriculture bill should be to enable a system of agriculture in our nation to assure our people's well-being. And they should be able to afford that sustenance, as Mr. Espaillat referenced. And we should be able to keep our fields healthy with regenerative soils when we're done with the production year. And currently, that has been really hard to achieve across our region. It's been made harder. We had a lot of crop losses in 7 of the 8 counties I represent last year, and because of the delays in Congress's doing their work on time and the new administration not being able to get checks out, the crop insurance losses the farmers have not been made whole. And they've had to go into the fields again at high risk, not knowing what kind of bill we might produce and the administration might deliver on. How shameful is that? Agriculture is about food, fiber, forestry, fuels, and financing of all of these, F. And they all have to work together. It's like a beautiful concerto on a piano. And that doesn't always happen. And the fact that we are delayed, I have never seen the Congress in this situation in my entire career. This hurts America. This hurts our ability to feed our people and to do everything that we promise in the agriculture bill. Now, in my region, we've been trying very, very hard to develop new markets for farmers, and by golly, we've done it. Half the corn and soy in my region now goes into fuels, into biodiesel, into ethanol. We're at the beginning of a new energy age, and the Department of Agriculture is a partner in that effort. One of the sad parts about what has been happening, however, with agriculture in our country is that local farmers are being ignored. It seems like the Chicago futures market is more important, and the big integrators that process pork, let's say, the big companies that trade on Wall Street, and they're shutting out local farmers, local production. We can't even get local production into our school food programs and into our senior food programs. The largest amount of money that comes to USDA, other than crop insurance in my region, is $1 billion across Ohio's north for our school nutrition programs. Imagine if that $1 billion could go into the pockets of the farmers that are producing food in my region. We can't seem to figure that out as a country. We can have a whole big project to go to Mars, but we can't figure out a way to use the resources of USDA in order to empower our local farmers. I'm really disappointed in our country that we have not been, and I'm hoping that Chair Harris of this committee, we've talked about this, we re-empower our local farmers because, friends, we don't have a new generation of farmers. They're getting squeezed out every year. The ones that are currently farming, they're saints, and they're making their money through fuels, not by selling food to people across our region. And that's a problem, and it's a big problem. And we can't get their product on the shelves because the supermarkets, those big conglomerates, have slotting fees. You have to pay you ever wonder why? I hate to use one word, but the well-known names of soda pop in our country, let's just say that. Look at where they sit on the shelf. They have to pay slotting fees in every store in this country, one of those big integrated stores. Local producers can't do that. And so we've been trying to empower our farmers markets, our downtown farmers markets, and we're making progress. But USDA behaves like we're not even there. Shame on them. I recently heard from a young farming family in my district. They run a regenerative farm, Oaks and Sprouts. Oaks and Sprouts. They grow garlic, tomatoes, lettuce, squash, and raising poultry and dairy. And through, and other members have mentioned this morning, USDA's Local Food Purchase Assistance Program that this bill effectively ends, they secured a modest contract, to supply fresh local produce to area food pantries. I'd like to help empower them to supply our schools and to give healthy foods to our kids. You know what the kids in my district, I don't care if they live in a wealthy community or if they live in a poor community, I say, how do you grade the food here in this school? And it's provided through money from USDA. F. They said, F minus, another D minus in the rural countryside. Something is really wrong. And you look at the rising diabetes rates among our kids and so forth, and what's going on with our seniors, shame on us. And it's on us, on the agricultural committees in this Congress, to do a better job, and we're not doing it. We need to have legislation to support local food purchase and procurement, and we need to empower our food banks to contract with local farmers. That won't happen in this bill, shame on us, but it needs to happen so that the places in America that can produce, do produce. So I would just say, I expected a lot. This bill isn't it, and I will say to the chair of the subcommittee, we're willing to work forward, but this bill doesn't do it. Thank you, and I yield back. Vote no on this proposal.